Welcome back to Hidden Valley as the V8 Drivers Support SIDS Day that was launched this week. And of course, Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Day is June 25. And this is the third year the Shell Championship Series has been supporting that charity. So we wish them all the best and urge everybody to get behind it and support them by a red nose. As we have a look at the grid for race 3, which is of course the results of race 2, Engel and Bright share the first row, Lowndes and Seaton, Bow and Tander row 3, and Scape and Barguana the 4th.
Yeah, it's got to be interesting to see if Engel can make a clean sweep here this afternoon. He's been absolutely on fire, qualifying into the races. Paul Radicic fighting his way back. He really put in a charge in that second race. Greg Murphy going well too. Perkins and Noske, Dick Johnson and Stephen Ellery. Larkham rounds out row 11.
Well, talking with Greg Murphy in between races, he was saying Radicic, when he approached him, had that much speed down the main straight. He went past him like he was standing still. So keep your eyes on Radicic in this one as we have a look at the last few positions on the grid. Stephen Richards with that tyre problem will be doing it tough from the rear.
It's interesting, all the talk in between races about how much horsepower these Fords have got, Brad, but I noticed Bright couldn't get past Engel in a straight line, so they're not too lacking the Holdens.
That's exactly right. I think the parity's pretty close at the moment, and if you look at Russell and Bright's car, there wasn't much between them, and it's different parts of the circuit around the back. Russell would get away a bit, getting ready for the start now.
Get ready, Russell Engel has never won 3 from 3. Can he do it here in the Northern Territory? Away we go, and Bright gets the jump this time. A terrific start by the Pertec Ford driver on the outside. They're all away cleanly. Engel has been swamped. Oh, there's contact there between Lowndes and Engel, and now Engel moves back over again, and on the inside it's Garth Tander. He pushes his way through, there's contact. Lowndes and hits, and there's a massive contact in the first turn.
Oh, goodness me, you can see Lowndes in there, Seaton in there too. What a dramatic shot.
Crompton's gone around in the background.
Yeah, they're all off over the grass. You can see that heading for disaster. Crompton, gee, he's really been out of the luck today. But Engel now, after not such a good start, he finds himself back in the order, so he's got to fight his way back for the lead, and it's on. One between Bright and Tander.
Yeah. Tander really came through on the inside quite forcefully. It was a neat move. There was a real concertina effect there where they were nose to tail, and Engel was in there with a real big biff up with Lowndes, and they've worked their way through. Look at the damage. I think that's from the previous race on the 18 Shell Helix Ford in Paul Radicic, but we knew it was going to be on in one of the 3 races here today at Hidden Valley. We have it. Turn 1. Noske's gone around. Oh, and Radicic has hit the back of Greg Murphy.
Yeah. Might have been a little bit of contact there with the Shell car that hit Murphy, that hit Noske. There might have been a bit of a chain reaction. They'll have to look at that on a replay. But all hell's broken loose on this opening lap. But as they sort themselves out, coming onto the main straight, it's Jason Bright in the Falcon. You could hear the Ford fans are up around Corbett Hill as he led this big field around the first time. Garth Tander in second position. Engel has recovered to fill third on the first lap.
And that's unbelievably amazing. How often do you spin an arrow off the road and the 2 cars come back on in 3rd and 4th position, especially at the start when they're all nose to tail? It's quite amazing for them to be up there.
Really encouraging to see Garth Tander up there, considering the bad luck that he's had. Barguana, his teammates in there as well, but here comes Radicic. He is currently sitting in 8th position. Here's the Shell Helix replay of Rodney Forbes.
Oh, it looks like it's broken something up the top, maybe a wishbone or something, but he's certainly in lots of trouble. He's got no steering whatsoever, and
it's the wall.
He's just off the road into the wall.
It's been a tough weekend for the Sydney sider. Rodney Forbes will be very disappointed there, but Jason Bright leads away. Let's keep in mind that Bright has never won a sprint race. Of course, he won the FAI 1000 Classic last year, but this could be a very special moment for him. Long way to go yet, though. Barguana continues the pressure. Look at the damage on the front of the Cat Ford, but it isn't hindering him at all. Bow continuing on.
I'll tell you what, we've started doing our sums already, and we've figured out if Bright wins here, Engel has to finish at least 5th to take the day. I'm sure the team will be doing their sums, sitting handily placed at the moment in 3rd, but he's going to come under plenty of pressure from Mark Scape, Noble Commodore, John Bell. Look at the battle damage on these cars. They found their way through that first turn. This place is a real biff and barge circuit.
Well, there's 3 in a row there. Have a look at it. You've got Engel, Scape, and then Bow with all crunch snubs, haven't you? The noses are all pushed in, and then Radicic a couple back. He's exactly the same.
Now, you might be looking at Garth Tander. You might remember he slowed on heat 2. There was nothing physically wrong with the car. He ran wide coming up here into the valley to let Lowndes through. But he ran so wide that he got out in all the broken up bitumen and the marbles, and his tyres just became coated with rocks. That's why he ran off at the next corner. Well, by the time he cleaned his tyres up, he was back in the order, so the car was fine.
Barguana has run wide. Murphy has squeezed through. So there's something hanging from Murphy's car there, Brad.
There is. I'm not quite sure what it is at this point in time, but Murph's pressing on. He's not doing a bad time. Just looking at the timing system, and Seaton's back
just
in.
Just went flying off, mate. Sorry to interrupt, but it just went flying from Greg Murphy's car. It looked like it was a bit of timber or something. Maybe something has come off another car, even a bit of a spoiler or something.
Well, there's no shortage of bent race cars out there, so anything's possible. There's plenty of work for panel shops on Monday morning, I think.
Well, I know Ford's motorsport manager Howard Mars will have his fingers crossed. Big run down the inside by Mark Scaife. He's taken Ingle for third position. So the Mobile Holden Racing Team driver on a real charge. Ingle goes back to fourth. He's got Bauer right behind him in fifth. And Paul Radicic continuing his amazing run. He's up to sixth.
Yeah, Ingle's going to have to keep a really close eye here as Bauer has a look up the inside of Russell Ingle. Can't quite do it. Cameron McLean has, well...
popped a tyre.
Yeah.
Bit of accident damage there as well.
Look at the damage on the side of the car. He's really been in the wars today.
It's been a very tough day for the Queensland driver, but Bauer continues the pressure, and look behind, there's Radicic and Murphy. So we're in for a really good battle here for this final race. Now, this is one of the...
Lowndes.
Yep.
Yep, you can see him in trouble on that first corner. He went scampering across the gravel, but that's put him right to the back of the order. Boy, when your luck's running with you, it's really running with you. And then it goes against you, as it did at Hidden Valley last year for the factory Holden team. Cameron McLean limping the car back into the pits. Russell Ingle now has a real fight on his hands as John Bauer and the Shell 18 Ford of Paul Radicic try and close on the Castrol car. 3 damaged cars in a row, and Greg Murphy sitting out there in the clean air in 7th position.
We'll have a look at the championship points as they stand after 2 races. 100 points to Ingle, and 3 of them on 88 as Radicic has a look up the inside, so he moves up 1 position better. He continues his forward charge, and on 78 is Tander, and 72 is Scaife, so it's very close at the top there, but Ingle has to be very careful that he doesn't slip back beyond 5th, otherwise he's going to lose today's round.
And he needs to be careful too. Radicic is driving very, very well. He just pulled out and passed John Bauer around the outside down the straight. That'd be pretty demoralising for JB. No one ever likes getting passed down the straight, especially in the same brand car.
Well, he has been lacking in horsepower, this new team. We've had a few engine dramas before the car's debut at Barbagallo Raceway, but they are working very, very hard. I was talking to the team's owner, Kevin Otway, this morning. He said, yes, a fix is on the way, so we're expecting more horsepower from the Cat Ford. It seems to be the only major thing lacking in this car. It's performance very impressive for so early in the season.
Well, Seaton was struggling to pass him in the straight in the earlier race, so it's one of those things. But one thing's for sure, the Shell car is obviously very strong.
Well, they've got a neat little team. Phil Curtis, Steve Hoinville, some really hard-working guys, some very dedicated guys. To get this VT done, they had something like 3 days off in 4 months from the beginning of the year, as Murphy has a go at the inside of Bauer. Murphy will get him. Oh, they've hit, they've come in contact, and Murphy runs wide. That gives Bauer the inside run through, and Barguana's looking at that as we get the rear view from Russell Ingle's car, looking back at Paul Radicic. Now, Ingle is currently in 4th position. Radicic looks a great deal stronger at the moment, so Ingle has to finish in 5th, no worse, to win today's round.
Watching this pack getting all squashed together as they come into the valley once again. Brighton Tander, they really are the class of the field at the moment. They've opened the lead up to over 5 seconds.
Oh,
look at the Bifford barge going on here.
Now, where are we watching this from? Ingle.
Russell Ingle's car, he's lost 2 positions.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see. I believe Russell's just running a little wide there. It is very much a one-lane raceway out there at the moment, and you only need to get 6 inches offline and you're in trouble. You can see all those black tyre marks there. That's a rubber going down on the track from the tyres, and if you run your car on that spot, you create good grip. If you get a little bit off it, where the tarmac's a little bit lighter, you're struggling for grip, the car understeers, and the opposition goes straight by.
This is the view from Russell Ingle's Castrol Commodore, and he's looking back at the Valvoline Commodore of Jason Barguana, who ducks to the inside, and Murphy on the inside of him. So Barguana isn't close enough, though, so Russell Ingle into defence mode, but he needs to turn it into attack mode and get up 1 position higher. It's currently Bright, Tander, Scaife in 3rd, Radicic 4th, Bauer, Ingle, Barguana, Murphy 8th, Larkham 9th, and Dick Johnson in his farewell drive in 10th.
Yeah, I know Ford's motorsport boss Howard Marsden will have everything crossed here. Ford has not won a V8 supercar race this year. It's going to be tremendous for the Ford fans and Ford Motor Company if they can bring home their first win for 1999.
Well, I can remember talking to some fans at the Phillip Island round, and they just said, when is Ford going to win? They were very dedicated Ford fans, and they just said, we're getting sick of this. Well, perhaps your wait is long enough, and Russell Ingle's got all out of shape. He's lost another 2 positions, so he goes back to 8th.
And really, Russell's just having a few handling problems there. Maybe he's overdriving or he's got a problem with the car, but he's just getting offline. And as I said before, it's causing him no end of grief. He's hard to be beating at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's having a look to see who's around him and trying to get his composure back so he can press on. Now, here we have at the front, Scaife all over Bright.
Scaife's already taken Tander in a straight line.
That's actually Craig Lowndes, guys. He's coming back from when he changed that tyre.
Yeah, he's been lapped, but he's really struggling there. Look at the amount of understeer he had coming out of that corner. He's got no grip in that car at all.
Very impressive drive, not only by Jason Bright, but also Garth Tander in the older VS Commodore. We should see the VT for Tander come, I think, in a couple of rounds' time, not at Sandown, but at the Queensland Willowbank circuit. But in all honesty, Gary Rogers said we're in no hurry to get the VT. This VS is doing just fine.
And the fastest guy on the circuit at the moment is Paul Radicic in his shell car, and he's caught Scaife and really pressing on. Great performance considering he started at the back of the grid in the second race.
So Bright and Tander, 1.1 seconds the lead between the difference between our leader Bright and Tander is second. Then it's 7 seconds back to Mark Scaife in third. That's Craig Lowndes, we confused before. He's just sitting in the lap position there. So these two really are the class of the field. You can just see in the back of the screen, there's Mark Scaife. 7.2 seconds it was, the gap last time around, but he's coming under fire from Radicic. He's getting closer and closer all the time to the Mobile Commodore. He switches down the inside. Is he going to have a go under brakes? Boom! A little bit of a tap. And
Scaife's gone. Oh, he keeps the boot into it and holds it on the track. A little nudge there by Paul Radicic has forced him wide, and through goes John Bowe as well.
And really, Scaife was moved over to the inside to block his line a little bit. Radicic was already over there. He's pretty committed to try and come down the inside. Gave Scaife a little bit of a tap. Fortunately for Scaife, he didn't get too far out of shape and only lost one grid position. And that's where they finished up. And, of course, that's allowed John Bowe back into the battle for this position.
Well, Bowe's had a very strong day here at Hidden Valley. Larry Perkins has come up into the top 10 and forced Dick Johnson back out to 11. Steve Ellery's running 12. Faulkner's 13. And Lowndes has stopped.
Yeah, he's having a shocking day, isn't he? The front of that car didn't look right after that first lap accident. He might have had some bent front suspension or whatever, but gee, this is a hoodoo circuit for a HRT, isn't it?
What? It was their Achilles heel last year. There's no doubt about that when they did a couple of engines and didn't get out in race 2. Tough times here as well. Scaife just copped a bit of a beating from Radicic, and now Lowndes has gone out. And forget you can stay in touch with the Shell Championship Series, www.v8supercar.com.au. Lap 10 of 17 as Bargwanna has a look at Scaife and Murphy on the inside of him.
Well, can Russell Ingall hang on? He was the winner here last year. He's a bit far back in the order if Jason Bright wins this one.
Well, I'd say Russell's composed himself again, and he's ready to press on, and he's certainly climbing all over Murphy, looking for a way by at the moment.
Well, word we hear from the pits is that Lowndes has been taken out with bent steering, and that was probably a result of that first corner incident. Oh, Glenn Seaton getting way offline coming onto the main straight. Did he keep it off the... Yeah, it looks like he managed to keep it off the wall.
And when that happened, Seaton was in 15th position, and Crompton is out of this race, so...
What looked like was going to be a great weekend for them. Oh, no, there's Dick Johnson.
Getting back into the battle. Second and last time in front of this big Northern Territory audience. Oh, big hit from Stephen Richards. What's going on here?
Stephen Richards has hit Paul Wheel and has spun. So, unfortunately for Stephen, his bad day continues as well. He's had wretched luck.
And that was quite a hard hit. He I
wonder what was going on there.
Well, it was almost looked like Stephen ran out of brakes. He just really gave him a clout up the back of the car.
All right, let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay.
Boof.
Well, I think Paul Wheels probably got out of the throttle there, and you know, Dick's in front of him, and for whatever reason, he's still online, and Stephen's pretty committed to come into the corner there, and bang, he's got him and turned himself around and probably shot Paul Wheelhump off the circuit.
Quickest car on the track, and no doubt about it, is our race leader, Jason Bright. The last time round, there's Bob Thorne.
Yeah.
The Super Cheap Autos EL. The last lap round, Bright was a 109, the only car in the 109. So the Pertec Ford AU XR8, there is no stopping him. Here he is, the 26-year-old, who now lives on the Gold Coast in Queensland, out of the Stone Brothers Garage. The reigning Bathurst champs looking strong as we have a look at our order. Tander still is well placed in second. Radicic up into the top 3 from Bowe, Scaife, Bargwanna, Murphy, and Russell Ingall back in 8th. We're watching a very special moment, not only for the Pertec Ford team, but for Ford in general. They're back with the AUXR8 in the form of Jason Bright as he cruises to his first sprint race win. A very special moment now. We have a look at the Shell Helix replay. This is an incident with Greg Murphy.
And you see the Murph's just done the same thing everyone else is doing today. Got a little wide, the back stepped out on the car. He can't get enough grip and he's looped the thing around. Fortunately, not hitting anything.
Well, I think the problem all weekend, Brad, has been the newness of this track surface. The resurfacing only happened, I think, 12 days before the race meeting here, and it is just starting to crumble up underneath them.
Well, they had to repatch some of the circuit last night, and looks like it's holding up okay today, but as you said, the surface is just a little bit green. Oh, there we go.
Bargwanna is in the middle of a battle with Scaife. Oh, that's tight there, and Engel is behind him as well. So we're talking 5th, 6th and 7th here with this trio. As we go on board with Russell Ingall, Bargwanna's got through on Scaife now. The minor 10 lap score, 14 of 17. We're winding this one down, but the action certainly not winding down. Let's have a listen.
Mark's in a difficult position. He's dropping back a little bit from Bargwanna because he's really trying to cover himself with Russell here, and Russell is all over him. Russell will be at the point now giving him a bit of a touch-up there. That he'd be angry with himself that he's dropped back a little bit, made a couple of mistakes or didn't have the car balanced the way he liked it. But he's got his confidence back, he's in control, and he's really trying to press on and get in front of Scaife. Scaife's meeting the sandwich here, and he's trying to block Russell, but he's also trying to attack Bargwanna. It's a very difficult position to be in because you can win or lose everything very quickly.
Well, this is absolutely crucial for Russell Ingall. If he wants to win the Hidden Valley round, he needs to get past not only Scaife, but Bargwanna as well. That will elevate him back to 5th. And we've only got 3 laps to run, so he needs to make up 2 positions in 3 laps if he wants the Hidden Valley round to be his. Otherwise, it's going the way of Jason Bright.
I don't know about you, Brad, but that car may be running a bit hot. Is that steam coming out the side of the bonnet there?
Well, maybe I think it's the tyre rubbing on the side of the tyre. I've noticed it's been doing it for a little bit, and the car does have a bit of accident damage. Looks like they've given Radisich a stop-go for his touch-up and Mark Scaife, so there's not much you can do about that. I mean, the bottom line is he did give him a bit of a belting, so not quite as hard as this one, but a bit of a belting nevertheless.
Well, he was up there. Now that's elevated Bargwanna to 4th, Scaife to 5th, Ingall to 6th. Larkham in the minor 10 Ford's on a good run. He's into 7th, so too Perkins. And the comeback of the weekend has been John Faulkner and Stephen Ellery. They're running 9th and 10th.
Look at that! Oh,
You
can just see Ingall getting very, very close to Scaife as they turn into that corner. I don't know if there was contact there between the two of them.
And that's the thing. Hopefully we can see that on the replay. 2 laps to go.
Russell Ingall knows the desperation, the importance of the situation, as Mark Scaife has been hit from pillar to post in race 3, lap 16 of 17.
Well,
we'll take a look at the Shell Helix replay of that incident, Brad.
And you see Mark's just run a little bit wide. Russell's up the inside. It's hard to tell whether there's contact. I would guess not.
Well, looked like he was in trouble coming into the corner, Brad.
He's just run wide. I'm sure we'll be able to tell from here. You see he's off the line. He's off the black mark there. He's come across trying to block it, but the car's just understeered off the road. Russell hasn't given him any help whatsoever. He did that all by himself. He's lucky to keep it out of the sandpit, and he goes on to race for another position.
What a battle. Mobile Holden Racing team. He just couldn't touch them all year. And all of a sudden they're in the wars. Lowndes out with broken steering. Scaife really wrestling his car in the middle of this pack.
And really, that's a price you pay for pressing on. You know, they're trying to get away from one another.
Jeff Kendrick with some problems on the side of the track, and he's okay now. We're on our final lap.
Actually, I think that thing's on fire.
Now, if things remain as is, it will be Jason Bright with the win, but Ingall needs to get past Bargwanna, or is he up into 5th? Ingall is in fact up into 5th, so that will be enough for Russell Ingall to win the day if things remain as is. So as good a drive as it's been from Jason Bright, Ingle did all the work in the opening 2 races with those 2 wins.
Well, it was that stop-go penalty for Radicic which really helped him, taking him out of the order, put Ingle up to 5th, so he's in. Oh, no!
No, Russell's in trouble.
Oh, look at this.
We spoke too soon.
Well, I think we saw that smoke puffing from under the bonnet. Let's have a listen.
Oh, there's no doubt it's as flat as a tack. So it turns out you were right there and I was wrong. It wasn't a tyre scraping at all. It was a bit of a puff out of the engine, and quite possibly all the bent front on the car has restricted some of the airflow, but they usually get it out through the spoiler, so maybe it's just bad luck.
Well, this is it. This will be Ford's first round win since round 5 last year at Winton, as Bright comes across the line, so long as Ingle has drifted back outside of that top 5, which I think he will have after going so slow. Bright, no doubt about that, takes race 3. We're looking back in the pack exactly where Russell Ingle is as they flash across the line. A terrific drive by Garth Tander for second, but Ingle has lost too many placings. There's Dick Johnson coming around behind him.
Oh, what a tragedy.
It is.
Can't believe that. I wonder if it was a result of that accident damage. Maybe the engine got too hot, I don't know, but he's blown it big time.
Russell Ingle limping to the line. What a sorry sight. After such a great start to the day with 2 race wins, Ingle will barely make it to the finish line. The crowd is cheering. He has done his best and was only half a lap from taking out the Hidden Valley round as he screeches to a stop. Russell will be desperately disappointed as he climbs out of the car. That's tough luck, Brad. That's hard luck for him.
It certainly is. Maybe with that bonnet damage, it's punched a small hole in the radiator or something, but wasn't really shooting liquid out of the back of the car, but it could have dumped it all already. But terribly disappointing. But for Bridie, what a great result. They've worked pretty hard all weekend. They've been very close to the front. They were the fastest in one of the earlier races, and he got to the front, consolidated, kept his nose clean in that melee in the first corner, and now he's doing donuts.
Well, this is a major turning point for Ford in the Shell Championship Series. As I said earlier, their first round win since round 5 at Winton last year when John Bowe won. So it has been a long time between drinks, and they spoil Holden's chance of winning 10 rounds in a row. Well done, Ford. Well done, Jason Bright. Your fans will be happy. Tander in second. Bowe, his first top 3 position in the Cat Ford. Barguan escaped Larkham, Perkins and Faulkner, who came back very strong towards the end. A great drive by Ellery. Reed in there as the top privateer. Radicic, Johnson, Ingle in 13th. That's where he drifted back to. Noski, Donaher and Parsons.
Well, in 1998, the V8s came to Hidden Valley for the first time, and it proved a bogey circuit for the Holden racing team. Well, history has repeated itself. The factory team having a lot of trouble today, and also the first win for Ford in 1999. And the crowd obviously very mixed. Ford and Holden fans very passionate about V8 Supercar. Now, before we get to our winners, let's put our hands together for the second race in 2 for the top place privateer from the 3H today. Put your heads together for Steve Reed. Well done, Steve. Great drive in the Lansvale PPG Commodore. OK, put your hands together too for the man who finished 3rd today. He had engine problems in the last heat, but boy, he gave it a hell of a shake. Put your hands together for Russell Ingle. They're not going to leave you there just to wave. We'll never talk to you. Gee, that was fantastic. That car had so much speed today, but what happened? Did the engine cook itself and then looked like it had steam coming out of it?
Yeah, I think the front bumper just got pushed up on the rad and up went the temperature. But honestly, it's been a fantastic meeting. Thanks to the Darwin people for having us back again. You've been absolutely terrific. Great place. And we'll be back next year.
Russell Ingle's going to be back next year, and I'm sure he'll be turning it on for the big fans at Northern Territory. Second position today. He's driving one of the older cars, but it certainly seems to be performing very well. Put your hands together for Garth Tander. A known package like that's a pretty good thing to have at the moment. That car was quick.
Yeah, she's going pretty good. It's got to just be a credit to our guys. They worked flat out for the last 3 weeks to fix the car up at Phillip Island. Our sponsors, Valvoline, Cummins and Holden, and the people of Darwin. It's great fun coming here. I can't wait to come back next year.
Thank you. Garth Tander driving for the Valvoline Cummins team. A young guy with a big future. Another guy with the big future is the man we're going to talk to in just a moment after Ross Brody, the motorsport manager for Shell, presents the goodies to our overall winner today and the first victory for Ford in 1999, Jason Bright. Well, fantastic effort. You've got too many goodies to handle, haven't you? Wow, what a drive. The AU Falcon, you've been chasing the VTs, you've been chasing development all year, but it looks like you had a couple of test days and that made all the difference.
Yeah, the car's really on fire at the moment. We're really happy. Pertec, skilled Ford, you know, we've done a great job. The team, you know, owe it all to those guys. Just really happy. Didn't put a wheel wrong all weekend. Just wrapped, yeah, great for Ford.
Can you continue this form at Sandown in 3 weeks' time?
I like to think so. You know, we had a good run here last year. We were really happy with qualifying. We had a bad run on Sunday, and Sandown's another one of those tracks that we like. So, you know, we're really looking forward to the next round at Sandown. By then, we'll have tested at Willowbank. Looking forward to that round too. So, fantastic.
Put your hands together for Jason Bright. Ford, big winner, Hidden Valley in 1999. And I'm sure the first of many to come.
Well, despite a frustrating weekend, the fact of the matter is that Craig Lowndes still has a 120-point lead over Glenn Seaton, who also had a tough day here in the Valley. Russell Ingall, 670, and just 2 points in arrears is Jason Bright after his magnificent win today, his first race win and round win, first sprint win, I should say. Now, there's a big gap back. Schaefer's a long way behind Bright. Murphy, Tander, who is looking good as the season progresses, Stephen Richards, and then we go back to Mark Noske in the top 10 as Sir Russell Ingall sprays the crowd with champagne again, as he did last year. He really enjoys his time up here in the territory. Now, looking back and thinking back to what Howard Marsden, General Manager for Ford Racing, said today, he's pleased with what he's seeing at the moment in V8 Supercar, and the AU XR8s, Brad Jones, are really starting to come into their own.
Well, it's a great result for the Pertec team and for Ford, and I really think from here it'll be a tough battle to the end of the season.
Pleasing for you too, because you're going to be in one of those AUs at Willowbank and at Bathurst.
And it's a sister car to Bright's Pertec car, so that's a pretty good result. But your heart would have to go out to Russell Ingall today. He had it all in the first 2 races and really got caught up in that melee a little bit, and that was the end of his day once the engine popped towards the end.
Thanks very much for filling in for Barry. Good to see you, good to have you here, and we look forward to seeing you at Willowbank.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, as always, plenty coming up on your home of Motorsport Network 10, starting with tonight. Join myself and Daryl Beattie. We'll be bringing you the World Motorcycle Grand Prix from Mugello in Italy. Trackside next weekend and the next round of the Shell Championship Series at Sandown in 3 weeks' time. On behalf of Brad Jones, Mark Osler, I'm Lee Diffie. It's been great having your company here in the hot top end. Look forward to seeing you at Sandown. And for your bike fans, see you tonight. That is Dougal McDougall's Aloe Quench Commodore. Oh, he just smashed the tyres too.